Hello, thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Metal 75. This is Jay Terrio, Louisiana Beer Reviews, and this is your Massachusetts Beer Review live discussion today on the world famous, Coors Light. Born in the Rockies, established 1978. And this can of mine does not have the cold activation on it, but I can tell you that it is cold as anything. This beer review was this beer to request the Coors Light was requested by YouTube user Jake Jake. Thank you to that Jake, and he asked me if I had any of this in my refrigerator to review it, and I said no, but I will review it. So the last time I reviewed the Coors Light wasn't all by itself. I did the blind taste challenge between Coors, Miller, and Bud Light, and I knew what Miller Light was. Between Coors and Bud, I had no clue. None. But Coors Light is for 12 fluid ounces. I think this 24-ounce can cost me $2.45. But for the 12-ounce serving of Coors Light, it is 4.2. Well, it's going to be 4.2 in alcohol by volume, no matter what you get serving at. For 12 fluid ounces, it's 102 calories, 5 carbs, and less than 1 gram of protein.
What size can is it?
This is the 24-ounce can that I will be enjoying in a Das Boot, since it will fit that 24-ounce can just fine.
And how much was it again?
It was $2.45, I believe, in my local town. I kind of wish that we got more malt liquors that came in these 24-ounce or 16 or 18-ounce cans, because I actually have a couple of requests to do some malt liquors, and I don't really... I mean, I could just cap it and save it for later, but I don't really desire to buy a whole 40-ounce of malt liquor to drink it all in one review sitting.
Good thing about the 40-ounce, though, think about this.
Yeah.
You can cap it, twist cap, so you could cap it back, and it'll last you all day. I mean, that could be your beer drinking for the day.
That'll be you're true. You're right. That could last the 24 hours. Yeah, I should think about that. So as you all probably know, Coors is their breweries are in Golden, Colorado, and apparently there's some brewing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin of the Coors Light, I guess.
It was a lawsuit about that.
Again, it started. No, there's a lawsuit. I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, because some guy said he was upset because they claimed it was from Golden, Colorado, but he got a can or a bottle that was from
Milwaukee.
Something like that.
Huh. Interesting. Well,
yeah. The judge said, I think it was thrown out of court, though, because the judge said, where was your damage, though?
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. So, just to get right down to brass tacks here on the Coors Light, right down to the review notes and specs. When I poured this, and you probably saw that it had, maybe it was up to where my finger was, of some pretty soapy, foamy kind of head, and it literally died to just about nothing here. Literally nothing, I should say, on that.
Look at mine.
That will die like nothing. This is definitely that golden yellow straw type color. It's very it's got some effervescence. It's not like champagne or anything. And it's, I don't see any fine white particles, so it's pretty well filtered out of the beer. Is that what you get from yours?
Yes, but look at the thick head. And I think your beer can is cold activated, because my can says when the mountains turn blue, the beer is cold.
Mine just says cold lagered, cold filtered, and packaged cold. Oh, it does say that. When the mountains turn blue, it is as cold as the Rockies. Well, I didn't see much of a blue tint, but this thing is cold, I can tell you that.
Yeah, mine is blue because I had it in the freezer.
No, maybe the tint is the same, yeah. Maybe it is.
Yeah, this beer is not pasteurized. It's cold filtered, and So it's a draft beer in some ways, and Eric is certified kosher.
There you go. And then, the gold in Colorado and Colorado in general, I think, has a high Jewish population as it is.
I was told that by some people. That lived in Denver for a couple of years.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. As far as any kind of aromas go on this beer, it's very. It's a light lager from the United States. That it totally smells like United States American style lager. That's totally what you get. I'd have to look on the website, but I don't know. I think they use corn, and that might be what I'm smelling. I didn't really check to see what those ingredients were on the Coors Light website. I can do that right now, but I think I'm getting that corn smell. They say they use traditional 2-row lager malt and Coors. Okay, so they don't really tell you what kind of adjuncts they use except for 2-row pale malt. All right, so I'm going to assume I'm getting that. What I'm smelling is the corn smell. And it's got that grainy paperiness, sort of a wet cardboard kind of a smell. It's sweet overall, but it's generically beer in its smell and in its appearance. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a little. It's got a little. It's hard to describe it. Somebody was talking to me about that this morning. That little sting to it in the aroma that these American beers will have, and
maybe that's a little coming in.
A little, like you say, stereotypical beer aroma. Yeah. In Australia and in Canada, Australia, and England, I call Coors Light.
It's called there's Coors. Some kind of law where they can't call that light in Australia, right?
Yeah, because it's got too much alcohol.
Right, because a lot of those countries that are within, maybe even Ireland, the countries that were British colonies, they have really strict laws about what can be considered, non-alcoholic beers and mild beers.
Yeah, so over there,
higher than a mild beer, which is supposed to be like what, 3.8% in the range at the most, maybe.
So the beer they get that they call Coors is this.
Yep. It's not Banquet. It is light.
Right. So what do you think about Coors Banquet? Oh, they've never heard of it.
Yeah,
you've never
should. I like
never.
That's nice.
Coors Extra Gold, because we've barely heard of that, have we?
And we only got the Coors beer in the entirety of the United States in, 1992 within the state of Indiana. That was the last state in the union to get the Coors Banquet beer, I believe.
Coors.
So Coors beer is not as new within the 50 states, or not as old within the continuous 48 states as Budweiser is.
25 years.
Yep. So I'm going to go right to the taste test. It's just adjunct lager type smell and aromas. So cheers to Jay. Cheers, Jake. Cheers, Beer World.
Cheers, Jake. Jake watches my channel too, and he makes a lot of comments.
Awesome. So back in July 2009, when I put this review on Beer Advocate, I said that the taste was sweeter than Bud Light, not as dry. It taste is identical to its smell, malty and grainy with a touch of hops. I guess I wouldn't say it's extremely malty, a couple of years later drinking this. I think it's got a good sweetness up front, and it's got a good graininess to it. I would definitely say that it's not as dry as Bud Light, but but I think American-style pale lagers like this are very dry in its nature. And I am getting that corn husk, that wet, damp cardboard cellar kind of a taste, and it's pretty grainy.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing you're getting. It's water, barley malt, corn syrup, dextrose, which is the brewer's syrup.
Yep.
When people hear that, they're thinking of Karo syrup that you buy to make pastries with.
Yeah.
It's not that same. You can't buy that dextrose brewer's syrup at the grocery store. That's a wholesale item that companies, brewing companies buy yeast and hop extract. Hop extract.
Yeah, there's only the slightest. Even if I look at the smell, there's only the slightest. I mean, the slightest amount of a hoppy, like a hop zing or like a hop spicy note. I mean, it's about the same in its taste. There's a very little hop zing, a little hop spice, I think, as you say in a lot of your videos, to just round out the flavor of the beer at the end. That's the last thing for me with the sweetness to leave the palate before it dries. It's almost like drinking club soda or seltzer water, except for the fact that I think those kind of non-alcoholic beverages are just a little heavier on the carbonation than this, but it gives me the same kind of a drinking sensation. It's very light and watery. It's crisp, clean, refreshing as all hell, and again, it's drinking kind of like club soda or seltzer water.
I think this. Wow, there's all kind of new beers coming out from Miller Coors. I'm looking here. I'm kind of stunned while I'm talking to you. I'm like, what am I looking at? But anyway, this beer has won a silver medal and 3 gold medals.
Can't be that
competition. I think the reason it is so good as far as a light beer, it's the number 3 selling beer in America, one of the top selling in the world. I think that situation with it being cold filtered makes a big difference. It's not heat pasteurized like most of your light beers, and it does make a difference. So you're getting more of a draft type beer, which does make some people sick, but it's a draft type beer. And I don't think the Coors Banquet or the Extra Gold is draft, but this one is, and it's just something about it that gives it a little extra character. I'm not one to run out and buy Coors Light or really any other light beer, but I can see why people reach for it.
Yeah, I was gonna have it with some lunch I had a little bit earlier, literally the lunch, and it's right in line with the price point of a Coors Light. I had a little tiny frozen Banquet. What were they? Chicken nuggets and fries. And if that's the kind of a meal that you like to have, or if you like any kind of fast food items, any kind of breaded chicken, fish, seafood, I guess strawberry, walnut salads, whatever you're eating like that. Lighter dishes and even hamburgers, anything kind of grilled meats, I think would go well. Sausages, gumbo, fish chowder, whatever. It would go well with a Coors Light. It's not going to, what am I trying to say? It's not going to interfere with flavors of food. If anything, it's going to react kind of the same way as drinking a sparkling water would, where it's just going to have those nice scrubbing bubbles and just be able to clean the palate.
Yeah, I agree with that. It would be such a good beer to pair with food.
Chicken wings would be awesome with this. Spicy chicken wings. I am on there right now, and I am kind of perplexed in a number of ways. And we can get into rate beer on a whole nother day, but the rate beer, I guess, doesn't have the light lager style, but they call this a pale lager. So in the style of pale lager, it's overall a 0 out of 100 and a 2 out of 100 for the style. And I think it's a little unfortunate that it gets classified on rate beer as a pale lager, because it's not. It's similar enough. I understand that, but it's not quite the same thing, and it's not brewed to, that kind of a crafty, high caliber pale lager sort of, style in mind. It's not trying to do a lot of those things that pale lagers try to do, but as a light lager, to me, let me get another sip, and I will actually formulate a rating and score here. But to me, it's pretty much a middle of the road. It's I would give it the last time I reviewed it, I gave it a overall score of a 2.62 out of 5 on Beer Advocate. I think that's a little low. I would have no problem giving this a straight up C rating. It's pretty average without being anything too extraordinary, but it's nothing that tastes to me like it's like it's a crappy product or just slung together, really, really fast. I think they took their time at the Coors Brewery with this beer, and they knew what the beer market was going to be and how it was going to be perceived, which it's being perceived absolutely phenomenally since it's been, introduced on the market. So to me, there's no bells and whistles to it, but it's doing exactly what it's supposed to in a light lager style. So for a light lager, it gets really high marks. But as beer overall, I'm going to give it a C rating. It's just an average kind of a beer that, average Joes can enjoy.
I think, to me, I think it tastes good. So if I'm saying it tastes good, I would give it a B. C would just be fair, like, the way I look at it, C would be like, it's okay.
Yeah, I guess if I had to give it.
But a B would be like, it's good. I mean, I could drink, if I got stuck drinking this every day, I wouldn't exactly be excited about it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be saying, oh, Lord, I'm suffering because I have to drink Coors Light every day.
No. The C definitely means, an average to me definitely means that it's definitely tolerable. It definitely is easy to drink, and it's, you can drink this beer. It just doesn't have many bells and whistles to it, and it stacks to me. To me, Coors Light stacks up with almost any light lager, or practically the majority of the 5% style American adjunct lagers, or really even anything out of Mexico for the lagers, or actually it stacks up pretty well to the Rolling Rock Extra Pale. It's very comparable to most beers you find on the beer shelf in your beer store. So it being, and my buddy Ryan Boyce is showing up today. He's from Mansfield, Massachusetts. Hello, Ryan. Your microphone is off.
Eric, I think in the light beer world, I would give it an A.
Yeah.
I think it's a most excellent light beer. Not to say that I'm running to go get that stuff.
Yeah.
While your friend is trying to get his mic situation.
He looks all right. Say hello, Ryan.
Hey.
We hear you.
Hey, Mark.
That is Jay from Louisiana Beer Reviews. Mark is not here.
Eric, I pulled up the SAB Miller website.
Yep.
Let me tell you a few things real fast what they're saying on their website.
Sure.
It says, inspired by the mountains where it originated. Okay, blah, blah. Coors Light is the result of a unique brewing process that involves the use of frost brewing techniques. In other words, cold filtering. Now listen to this, though. Its delicate red apple note.
Yep.
Its delicate red apple note.
I don't get that.
Bitterness and body delivers the ultimate in cold refreshment. Now they're saying on the Cyclops scale that it's 1 out of 5 hop cones, which sounds about right. And
yeah, that's right.
2 out of 5 sugar cubes, and their suggested glassware is a tumbler.
Oh, it's not a boot?
Nor one of these, whatever you call these things. It's a tumbler.
Whatever. Yeah, we're drinking it. We're doing well. I don't seem to detect red apple, and I muted you, Ryan, just so you wouldn't make any background noise, but you can unmute yourself if you want. Excuse me, I don't get that red apple note. There could even be a slight, now I'm digging here, there could be a slight souring note towards the end when it dries, but other than that, it's just, it's a C range for me, and that could be out of 100, 73 or 74, somewhere between that. I think it's on the cusp of being a C+, but I'm just going to give it that straight C. Now, I want to go to Ryan. I know he might not have a whole bunch to say, and that's quite fine, but what is your beer drinking experience with Coors Light, and what's your experience beer drinking overall?
Coors Light, not a bad beer to pick up if you're not looking for anything special. If you're just hanging out and you want to provide beer for everyone at your party or what have you, good beer. I mean, it goes down easily. Yeah, but it's not the greatest beer in the world.
Yeah, I like how you said it's a pretty good beer to bring to a party, because I don't think that, I mean, even Jay and I being and somewhat yourself being a little bit more of a liking the craft beers as well as the macros, we still drink Coors Light and we can drink it just fine. I know if you probably went to a beer geek tasting event, they might look down on Coors Light, but I don't think that this is the beer that's designed for the ultra snobby and beer geeky kind of people like that.
No, I wasn't saying that.
Right, and I know you weren't saying that.
Just but I mean, to give Coors some credit, and maybe I'm just trying to give them more credit than
the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I do remember back in my college days, and in summers past when I bought like 30 racks or something like that, I did really like Coors as opposed to some of the other
Bud Light or Miller Light.
Yeah, maybe not Bud Light. I'm not sure, but I remember Coors. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna get Coors.
Well, yeah, when you were going to college, when you went to college the first time, I should say, you were in Vermont. You had access to all kinds of good beer.
Yeah. So it wasn't so much being in college. I used to drink Magic Hat a lot up there, Long Trail. But at parties in the summer at my parents' house or wherever, I'd usually go for Coors and feel pretty good about drinking Coors.
So, excellent points to bring to the table. Anybody else have anything to contribute or any last sort of remarks or anything else that should be brought up in discussion that has not already been?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
One thing is there's a new beer out called Red's Wicked Blood Orange I'm seeing right here.
Oh, wow. Is that a Coors product or is that Miller?
Well, Miller got bought by Coors, so it's all Molson Coors now, it's a Miller Coors product. But, of course, Red's was SAB. But anyway,
right. Okay.
That came from South Africa.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've not tried any of the Red's products. They just don't sound like that's something that would appeal to me.
And you're not missing much. Hey, but the thing about Coors Light that's sort of interesting, and I have literature to back this up, and plus it's on their website.
Yeah.
In 1941, Coors Light was introduced.
Oh, wow.
1941.
But that's when the beer was that's when the Coors line was available points west of the Rockies.
Okay, listen to the story. Okay, they already had Coors Banquet, no problem. They decided they're going to put out Coors Light. Well, Well, what happened? Right after the beer comes out, they had their Pearl Harbor attack. The U.S. gets involved in World War II. So then Coors was like, oh, screw that. We don't have time to market this product. Yep. We'll bring it back later. Well, yeah, they did bring it back 37 years later. But imagine it might have changed the whole beer world, if Coors Light would have hit the market in 1941 instead of 78.
Yeah.
And the only reason it came back is because Miller Lite came out in 75, and that changed the whole beer world. But it is kind of, imagine how much an old bottle or can of Coors Light from 1941 would be worth in the collectible market, huh?
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, nobody would have. I wouldn't have known until you said that they had Coors Light in 1941 at one point. Nope.
I've got pictures of it in this
cool.
In this brochure right here. Look, hold on a second.
Are you drinking any beers right now, Ryan?
No.
That's a shame.
Unfortunately, I just got home from England. Had a few beers up there. Didn't have any to bring home.
Where do you live, Ryan?
In Mansfield.
Mansfield, Massachusetts. Yeah, myself.
Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Coors. This is back in the days when companies would send you stuff. Now they tell you look it up.
It's all available online.
It's all available online. We don't want to pay. We don't want to pay for the paper. Okay, here we go. And I don't know if you can see this. see if I can show the bottle. Hold on, let me line it up.
I was gonna say you need to raise it up.
And I'm trying to.
There you go. Oh, it wasn't even called light beer. It was just oh.
It was.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
They've got light inside the little red box.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Coors Light.
That I mean, everything kind of just had more than of an attractive look and feel to it back in those days.
Yeah, it says.
Looks very sexy.
It says contains. I think it says 11 ounces, and it says the first Coors Light was rolled out in 1941, but was a casualty of World War II when government restrictions forced brewers to limit their product offerings. Well, of course, they weren't going to cut back on Coors, which everybody was already drinking, so they just killed off something that was brand new.
Yeah, that is most unfortunate. That's most unfortunate, and that's really cool history that I did not know. So that's why people like Louisiana Beer Reviews come on this channel. Educate us all about our favorite beer brands.
Yeah, and you can win some money on a bet with that little bit of information, couldn't you? Because people would say, "You're crazy, you nut." Coors Light in 1941, you idiot. You're stupid.
Yeah,
1978.
absolutely. So, as I close out this video, I look to my notes from, again, 2009's Beer Advocate review of the beer that I gave it, and part of my overall at that point in time was that I thought Miller and Coors Light were pretty neck and neck in flavor, with Bud Light being the last of them, and none of them really have much of a flavor profile to me, and I still agree with that. It's pretty light and just easy drinking without too much really going on in the beer, and you know, everybody knows the tagline that, you know, it's the most refreshing beer in the world, but if most of the light lagers and American adjunct lagers taste virtually the same, it's kind of hard that they can make that claim, although that's all that is the marketing ploy and a gimmick, really. But it's
Right.
It's fair. I mean, it's right in line with all your other adjunct light lagers. I'm going to give it a 70. I'll go with a 73.5 out of 100, a C rating, on the cusp of C+.
I think that's too low, but anyway.
And what would you give a beer like Coors Light, Ryan, if you had the pleasure of drinking one right now? How about a letter grade?
I would say B. I mean, I'm not sure, because, like, Jay brings up the history of the beer, and I mean, this beer has been around for a long, long time.
Yep. Started by German immigrants.
Mark, how does it win a gold medal 3 times if it's just okay?
Well, it's okay as a beer, and in its style, it's pretty awesome. That's how.
So you're saying, really what you're saying is you're not too cool with the style.
Really, what I'm saying is, yeah,
I don't like the style either because it's too thin. But you know what? Sometimes I drink heavy beers and I think to myself,
yeah, I don't always want to drink a East Coast style IPA or an Imperial Stout from the United Kingdom all the time.
I drank that Pabst Old Tankard Ale last night, and I was thinking to myself, I said, you know what? I could not drink this every day. But, you know, Coors Light I could drink every day.
Yep.
But that Pabst Old Tankard Ale, as wonderful as it is,
yeah,
you would get sick of it way faster than you would.
Probably.
You would never get sick of Coors Light. It would get boring,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't get to where you wouldn't want to drink it.
You got to drink.
Whereas I think something like the Old Tankard, you would start to repel you after a while. It's just too much going on with it.
Yep. And the only other thing I'm going to say before I conclude this video is, if you get a 24-ounce can, or possibly an 18 if they sell those, or even a 40-ounce bottle of any beers like this, if you're not going to be drinking the whole contents of the container at that one particular moment in time, please, and I'm noticing it here, please put it in the refrigerator, you know, the contents, to keep it as cold as possible, because I'm finding that as it warms up even slightly here, that I'm getting a little bit more of what Jay calls that brewer's syrup taste that I'm not tremendously fond of, even though beer is supposed to be, when it warms up closer to room temperature, that's supposed to be its actual, brewery flavors. But if the brewery, like with Coors, if they recommend you drink their beers cold, and you drink it cold to get their intended flavors out of the beer. So that's what I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, it was never designed to be a warm beer. Hell, they wouldn't have mountains that turn blue on the can if it was designed for that. But you got to, even though we can't be friends anymore because we don't quite agree, and we'll have to unfriend each other on Facebook and block each other because that's what you have to do when you disagree on beer. But even though that situation's going down, you got to admit that for marketing and the beer can design, it deserves an A+ 100, don't you think?
It is. We didn't mention, as if I need to mention, it is also considered the silver bullet.
Yeah, it's like the coolest looking.
The silver bullet.
Yeah. It's the coolest looking. It's the coolest looking label. You got to admit.
This beer is the silver bullet. If a vampire drank this beer, he would die.
And the beer and the Coors fans came up with the name Silver Bullet.
Yep.
Coors.
Yeah. I was gonna conclude another rousing episode, and we'll have our off-air discussions, like we always do. Again, I give this a 73.5, a C+. Jay's giving it around an A, and Ryan Boyce's recollection is around a B for this beer. So
I said it's a B. I said it's a.
Oh, you said
yeah.
A for style.
Yeah, A for style.
All right, excellent. Well, I thank you all for joining the review. I thank a fellow YouTuber named Jake that must have been on YouTube way too early to acquire just the name Jake. So cheers to Jake. And until next time, keep tasting those great beers. Cheers. We'll see you soon.
See you soon,
care.
guys.